Howdy there. Today I'm going to be talking about Red Cliff, Part 2. Excellent. An excellent film. I give it a 9. It's a solid 9. It might not be as good as Part 1. It's just like a little slightly just down the line from Part 1. Because it's just a tad more indulgent. It's a lot more stylized. There's a lot more slow motion. There's a lot more time-lapse photography. Lots of staring off at scenery for a while. There's some of that in the first one, but just not as much. And this is the conclusion of the story, and it wraps up nicely, but it's wraps up a little too nicely. I wish that it had taken a little time with the ending. Again, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, so it's no short film, and you know, it's part of the greater 4.5 hour, Red Cliff experience. But again, it just like stops. I mean, as soon as the war is over, the film is over. And it looked like the film began with a lot more history and pomp and circumstance to begin the war, and I wanted a little bit more of the aftermath. But it's still fantastic. I mean, it's still a great movie. Honestly, I think that Red Cliff, like the entire experience, again, I wish they had released the 4.5 hour version in America and just sit it straight through it, because I think you could do it. Because it moves so quickly. I mean, it just goes fast. It's excellent. I think that it's the best movie of its kind since Braveheart. And I'm talking about like epic war, country, history-changing battles, great characters, tons of characters, different archetypes of characters. There's romance. It's got everything. I really feel, I think it's the best movie of its kind since Braveheart. Like, I don't know if you want to call that a period piece, a war movie, maybe period war movie. I don't know. But it's great. And it's John Woo's best film. It moves so quickly. I mean, boom, boom, boom. This one has a lot more humor to it. Again, it's just more indulgent. There's a lot more of everything. A lot more computer graphics. So it's just not as finely honed. And again, if there is a flaw in Red Cliff, it's with the ending. It's about war, and it's a war movie. But as soon as the war is over, as soon as a victor is decided, I mean, it's pretty much over. And I wish that it had continued on a little bit more. I wanted to learn a little bit more about what happened to the loser, and about, just a little bit more. There was like a good 20-minute lead-in to the war, like why they're fighting, what are the motivations, and again, maybe I wanted at least a 10-minute epilogue, But again, it does have a nice ending, and it tells the story very well. Again, it's based off a book, so maybe the book ends without much epilogue. So, but again, Red Cliff is a 9. Part 1 is a 9.5. Part 2 is a 9. And the whole combined experience is fantastic. I think you need to see it. It's, really like the most exciting thing at your video store right now. I think you need to see it. I think it's a necessity. At least see the 3-hour American cut, at least. I think you should go with the full dual disc set. but the 3-hour version is fine. And most of the hour and a half that they cut out for that version comes from this movie. Comes from part 2, more than part 1. I'd say 70% of the missing 90 minutes comes from this movie. Again, with the more indulgent. But it's still excellent. I highly recommend it. Best film of its kind since Braveheart. John Woo's best film. Great performances. Great writing. I mean, the story moves like this. Excellent art direction. The costumes look amazing. The CGI looks good. The acting is great. Perhaps a little stylized, for the culture, but still it fits perfectly. The princess from Shaolin Soccer, she's in this. Oh, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. And she's good in this. So basically, Red Cliff is a must-see. Rent it right away. Again, it's like the most exciting thing going on in your video store. So you need to see it, appreciate it. I can't recommend it enough. So Red Cliff, part 1 and 2, or the American version, if you insist, or if that's the only thing available to you. But check it out. It's a must-see. I think that's enough said. Thanks.